Hello and welcome to Movie Vault 666. My name is Chris, and recently I came across a film that is so powerful, moving, and seeped in emotion that I left it right where it was. Today we're talking about The Revenger. The Revenger is a film from 1989, and it's about a man who wants revenge. That's more or less it, really. It stars a man called Frank Zaccarino, and if you've never heard of him, I can forgive you that, because he's basically a cheap Dolph Lundgren who, in himself, is kind of a knockoff Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's basically it for the intro, so let's dive into this film about revenge and not a lot else, and see if it's entertaining or not.
Okay, so we open to a grainy black and white bit of footage of what is presumably Frank Zaccarino working out to what I can only assume is a TV drama opening theme. I mean, perfect, wouldn't it? I mean, check this out.
But seriously, is that supposed to be in 3D, or is it just trying to nauseate its audience? Eventually the music just sort of dies and we get this.
He's locked down tonight with the lead. Jacobs call Central, please. Officer.
Hey, no pushing! Man, whatever's going on in that movie looks way more interesting.
Dump.
Don't look at me, I'm just a
I
dog.
can hardly remember the last time I played the sax.
Well, I guess it was then, and the hunt for the missing saxophone seems to be over already. So we can cut back from this flashback, right? Wrong! Instead we get Mike's brother Mackie, played by Arnold Vosloo, who you may recognise as Imhotep from The Mummy, on the phone to some shifty-looking men in a black limo. All I could gather was it had something to do with a woman and some merchandise. But we don't focus on it too much, because we're too busy focusing on this. Blah blah blah, my love life's so great and he'll never get framed for a crime he didn't commit. Next scene, an Arnold Vosloo's character catches up with Mike, asking him for a lift to an important business meeting. He explains that he can't take his car, as he has a girl in the back who's too drunk to take with him. I have no idea why Arnold Vosloo's character has a drunk girl in the back of his car, and Mike doesn't ask, so I'm none the wiser. Instead, Mike just obliges.
However, when he goes to pick up Arnold Vosloo's character, he's on the phone to the gangsters.
Richardson? Richardson! Everything okay? Yeah, fine.
Okay, I believe everything is okay then. Arnold Vosloo's character heads to his car to get some stuff, and the world's most suspicious police officers arrive in the car park. There's a man opening his car door. Better investigate.
I know it turns out that he is suspicious, I'm just saying. It's one hell of a guess. Anyway, there's also a woman in the back of the car, and seeing this, Mike puts his foot down.
Fuck, man. Mackie, you're not gonna leave her like that. Come on, man. As soon as I take care of business, I'll come back for it, okay?
Oh, okay then. The two then slowly drive off in Mike's car, which leaves the officers free to investigate the man who just opened his own car door.
So where are we headed? Down Malibu. God, this is so beautiful. I remember I did some of my best fucking Yeah, I got a good chance at a record contract. If it comes through, Lisa and I are getting a house. Right here.
Are you even listening to me? Whoa, 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 the door wasn't locked? He has a dead body in the back of the car and he didn't lock the fucking door? Or at least think she's dead. Might just be jam, I guess. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell from this effect, and it's not as if the officer checks. With Mike and Arnold Vosloo's character driving away, police officers then head off in hot pursuit. Meanwhile, back with Mike and Arnold Vosloo's character, Arnold Vosloo's character has to get out of the car, claiming,
Mike, I gotta take a leak. Pull over.
when really he's dumping something in the woods. Eventually he gets back in the car, but then the police car from earlier begins to chase them, leading to Arnold Vosloo's character drawing a gun on Mike. Wow, this chase is so intense it's almost meeting the actual speed limit. Somehow the police have already managed to get a barricade set up ahead of Mike and Arnold Vosloo's character, and the two crash into it, leading to incredibly dramatic scenes like this. I mean, ooh, intense. Arnold Vosloo's character jumps out of the car and tries to take on all the police at once, and unsurprisingly fails, after being shot repeatedly with some of the worst gun effects it's ever been my misfortune to see. In fact, this scene is so bad that Arnold Vosloo continues to move after being shot and killed.
Hands on the wheel.
Oh boy.
In consideration of your clean record, I sentence you, Michael Keller, to 5 years in state prison with the possibility of parole in 3 years. Take him away.
Anyway, the next scene is of Mike leaving jail as some extremely bored prisoners look on.
Looks like you're a history killer. You're out of here. Let's go.
Hey, it's that new guy. Let's look indifferently at him.
Okay, let's see.
Let me read that out with my unusually deep voice.
Michael Keller, number 3724891. Manslaughter, huh?
Manslaughter? How could he possibly have gone down for that? The other guy would have killed her and it would have been murder. Oh, forget it. And it's time for Frank Zagarino to initiate witty banter.
Well, well. Who'd you suck off to get out early?
Your mother.
Witty banter accomplished. Anyway, now we move on to some scene that tries to give our characters emotional depth. And it fails.
I thought I had so much that I wanted to say to you, but I can't seem to think of anything.
I'm not surprised, given this was the woman too stupid to realise her own name.
What do you think?
Oh, God, it was beautiful.
I'm glad you liked it. I wouldn't want you to endorse something you didn't believe in.
Indoors.
It's called Lisa's Dreams.
Wait a minute, that's my name!
Oh, baby!
But back with a bit of the film that I'm supposed to be making fun of, and the film really begins to show the true horrors of a house torn apart by one member going to jail, when it turns out that Mike can't play the saxophone properly anymore. However, Mike has the answer to all these depressing scenes.
And I choose to be happy.
And it's just that easy. One awkward flabby sex scene later, and we transition to find that
Richardson?
That's very good.
it's for some reason on the set of a porn shoot. But then the police bust in and give Richardson this message.
I've been wanting your ass for a long time.
Oh, and they also take him to jail or something. So with that scene petering out, Mike goes to speak with his old band members in an attempt to get playing again. However, this scene is rather pointless as it's simply a setup for the next scene, in which some goons attack Mike and knock him down a flight of stairs. The goons then grab Mike and through countless generic tough guy lines explain that they work for a businessman who's interested in a cut of the money from whatever Arnold Vosloo's character was supposed to be doing.
He wants his money back.
What the fuck are you talking about? I don't know anything about any money.
Told you he was gonna need some coaxing. Let me have him for 2 minutes. I'll help his memory.
Nah, that won't be necessary. You better watch my partner, pal. He's fucking crazy.
Right.
So do yourself a favor, huh? No more
Yeah.
games. Otherwise, next time, I might not be able to hold
Just
it
tell
back.
us what we want to know, or I'll give it to my smaller,
Look,
weedier partner.
friend. He's a businessman.
I'm so out of shape.
They then leave laughing evilly, or giggling like little schoolgirls, I guess.
Although not before dropping off a tape.
Give him the tape. For your viewing pleasure. Goes great with popcorn.
Enjoy the show.
Yeah, and don't forget to visit the refreshment kiosk. Haha.
By now I'm sure you've got a good understanding of the situation.
Oh my God.
So I see.
I forgot to record my soaps.
It's simple. You give us the money, and we'll give you your girlfriend, Lisa.
What money?
So be smart. Don't fuck with me. Because if you do, you're gonna force me to make your girlfriend into a moving picture star.
Shit!
Oh my god. Wait, what?
You're gonna force me to make your girlfriend into a moving picture star.
Shit!
That would make her more famous than me. I can't help but feel that this Fisher guy really needs to work on his threats.
Oh my god.
You'd better give me the money I asked for, or else... Damn, what's something really evil? I'll give your wife a record contract. Mwah! Mwah!
Shit!
Okay, so back to the plot, and Mike tries to figure out why he's being pursued by gangsters. He correctly deduces it has something to do with the briefcase that Arnold Vosloo's character was carrying. Fortunately, I mean really fortunately, given that he didn't eject the tape, the TV somehow switches to Plot Convenience News Network, which allows him to see this news report.
Well, we have Tyrone Richardson in custody, but we're considering the possibility that Richardson may be part of a bigger outfit.
In the meantime, Tyrone Richardson and company are in custody, and Channel 3 News will be watching that story closely. From South Central Los Angeles, I'm Sheila Hall.
Richardson!
Everything okay?
Wait a minute, it took him till the 11th time they said Richardson in order to flash back? Hey, where are you going? I'm not done with you. Oh god, no. No, don't. No! One pointless generic rock montage later, and Mike goes down to the place where Arnold Vosloo's character dropped the money. However, he doesn't seem to find anything, so cue pointless scene with this guy.
Yeah, he's being processed right now. Any instructions?
I think his boss got the message. Next time I speak, maybe he'll listen. Put Stoke and Haber on the watch. They know the routine.
Got it.
Wait a minute, I'm not a police chief. Why'd I say that? So anyway...
Richardson? Richardson!
Makes bail, and somehow Mike knows exactly when and where he's being released from. Decides to follow him extremely subtly. See that? Solid Snake would be proud. Oh yeah.
Although if you want something cooler, check out this limo going down a ramp. It must be cool to have this music.
So having followed the bad guys here, Mike manages to jump one of the goons in the car park of his boss's hideout and interrogates him. Although judging by the henchman's bored delivery, he doesn't think much of Mike's interrogation technique.
What's his name? Fisher, Jack Fisher.
Mike then bluffs that he has the money and gives him a note which presumably details how the exchange is going to work. We then cut to reveal that the note says to meet Mike at a carnival. Okay. Richardson and his cronies are approached by a small boy who hands them a note that's from Mike.
I see your boyfriend has a sense of humor.
No, you must have the wrong guy. The note says that Richardson is to meet Mike on one of the rides. However, Richardson is not allowed to bring the goons. However, as Mike makes his way towards the ride, he triggers an incredibly lame fight scene with one of the goons, which pretty much leads to nothing. So with that minor diversion out of the way, Mike manages to make his way to the location of his choosing, which is apparently hanging precariously out the window of a ride. Why, that could never end badly. Oh no, wait, it did. Oh, right on the corner. Don't worry, he landed on his head. He should be alright. Best suspense soundtrack ever. Well, that was embarrassing. So having cheated death, Mike pulls up at the apartment of a friend of his brother. I failed at eating a jam sandwich. So wait a minute, he fell all that way and that's the extent of his injuries? A couple of scratches on his face that he didn't even fall on? The next scene is of the mob boss, Fisher, and his girlfriend, and just to prove he can do the work of both A Time to Die and City of Fear, it has an overacting crime boss and a badly acting foreign woman. They're discussing vitally important plot points like whether Jennifer can come over or not.
Why? What's she ever done to you?
Because I said no.
So I guess this must just be one of those films that is just as famous for its amazing soundtrack, right? In fact, they probably wouldn't be showing you this scene because it didn't end like this. Oh, audience, what are you doing here? So at that point, let's see it out of the way, Fisher goes to speak to Lisa, where it turns out that Mike didn't bring any money to the exchange, he instead brought a bag full of hay. This annoys Fisher, and because apparently he isn't evil enough, insert tasteless rape scene here.
What I'll do.
So back with Mike, and he manages to convince his brother's friend Harry to help him rescue Lisa.
The two use uniform and gear from Harry's electrical workshop in order to sneak into the villain's hideout.
I understand you're worried, but you gotta trust me, okay? I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how much breaking and entering is required in the electronics business. Well, that was poorly fitted.
Be careful. Always am. Well, almost always.
Lame jokes aside, Harry does make it into the vent and manages to eavesdrop on the villain's pointless bickering.
What you reading, Einstein?
I've told you before, will you, not to call me that?
Oh, so sorry.
The majority of the bad guys then head out. I don't think it really matters where, it's just a lame excuse for there to only be 2 guards on Lisa at the moment.
You just stay here and watch the girl. Don't miss her.
What, has he got bricks in his shoes?
Mike then nearly gets himself caught again by walking out when the limo is driving away and Harry catches up to him. The two then argue about whether to stay here and rush in or go back to Harry's electronics place and try and think things through. They decide to go back to Harry's place, but then the next scene is them rushing in, rendering that scene completely pointless. They then broach the subject of going to the police.
I'm not going to the police. I'm gonna do this by myself.
Which is why I went to get your help.
Okay, this isn't quite the next scene. There is one involving the police, but I removed it because it's boring. Harry and Mike make it into the bad guy's base, and they manage to defeat the 2 incompetent guards using one of their own weapons, and the most effective weapon in the film, Harry's prosthetic. Mike finds that their progress towards Lisa is blocked. Lisa outsmarts that system. Why even have a locked door when the rest of the structure is made of glass? It's like in Commando when Arnie goes to grab his gun. He has a metal door, but the rest of the structure is wood. Who'd go through the security door? Right, sorry about that. Back to the film I'm supposed to be reviewing. And the boss's girlfriend is here, and she seems to be a lesbian now for reasons of who gives a fuck.
Fuck you, asshole.
Sorry, I forgot what film I was watching there. At any rate, Fisher's girlfriend draws a gun, causing Harry to shoot her, which then prompts this exchange.
Get the hell out of here!
Now, it might sound like he's not going with them, but he is. That was completely pointless. Anyway, our heroes arrive back at Harry's workshop, where they're watched by 2 agents who are supposed to be watching Fisher. One of the agents turns out to be corrupt and phones Fisher, telling him of the situation. Fisher tells him to get the girl back as she's his only bargaining chip, before delivering this confusing line.
You make me a lion.
I swear to God he says, "You make me a lion," which would probably actually make for a more interesting finale.
You make me a lion.
I hate my job.
The agent goes into the house with Harry away and Mike in the shower, which I will mercifully not show, and goes into the bedroom to kidnap Lisa, who puts up one hell of a resistance.
You show her how it's done, Alexa. Mike runs out into the room to save Lisa, just in time to see her take a sock in the face, making me wonder what this film's problem with women is. Mike and the agent have a throwdown, culminating in this epic death scene.
Oh no, he's dead of terminal scratches to the face.
Oh, and just so you know, I'm not kidding. That genuinely did kill him. Having killed the agent and deciding there might be some repercussion, our heroes decide to make a break for it and go to Harry's cabin. Meanwhile, the remaining agent goes inside to see what happened to his colleague. The remaining agent, Agent Haver, goes to Fisher to tell him exactly what's happened, and this leaves the police chief unable to contact either agent. prompting him to ask this poignant question.
Where are those clowns?
They would probably cheer me up. So as I need to save time for the final fight, here's a summary of the next few scenes. If Fisher finds his girlfriend to be dead, he then flips his acting switch to over. Then he goes to the house where Harry was keeping Mike and Lisa. Then he finds a picture of Harry outside his shack, which he then randomly high-fives. Then he gets his goons ready for a road trip where he plans to take the money from Mike. Then it turns out that Haver isn't corrupt, or he might be, but he's regretted the decision, or something, and he leaves a note for the police chief telling him what Fisher's up to.
Sir.
The heroes arrive at Harry's shack and begin preparing the place for an assault. Well, they prepare the front at any rate. They dig something and they put up some tripwires.
They even spread some... Harry, what is that?
It's kind of like oatmeal. It helps the gasoline stick to your ribs.
Oh, I always wondered why I had those warning labels on it. Still, this is not as bad as the other cereal I bought.
We then get an overly long scene with the villains when Fisher decides to take care of the two goons who failed him earlier. Hey, do you mind getting out of the car while I shoot you? Okay. This prompts an incredibly real execution effect. But how are they going to get rid of the bodies? I don't know, but the film's about to go into painstaking detail about it. A few scenes later, and we find ourselves back with our heroes. Mike and Harry don't want Lisa staying with them in the place that they've set up specifically to be safe, because it's too dangerous for her. Instead, they make her go and sit in a shed on her own, where they can't defend her. Oh, and it's also time for another brilliant hugging scene. Will this one be any better than the last?
I promise. I'm coming back.
Please don't.
Anyway, with that heartwarming moment out of the way, the moon shows up for its obligatory cameo, just as the bad guys start to arrive. To be honest, I just go ram the flimsy shack with one of the many vehicles I have. But then again, I guess that's why I'm not a Saturday morning cartoon villain like this guy. In a rare moment of intelligence, Fisher orders Officer Haver to gain access to the shack and kill the people inside. An order which would prevent casualties on his side. I'm in this movie too!
What's the betting here that Officer Haver will go inside, and then there'll be a couple of gunshots, and he'll stagger back out before eventually revealing that he's dead. Oh look, a couple of gunshots, then he staggers out before revealing he's dead. What a surprise.
Come! Just give us the money and we'll go! Just like the original deal!
I am altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
And so with Haver dead, Fisher and his men begin firing at the shack. However, with a lot of firepower and the awesome explosive power of oatmeal, Mike and Harry are able to kill most of the goons. Literally half of the group are killed within minutes of the opening of the firefight, and seeing this,
Richardson? Richardson!
decides that a tactical regroup might be the best strategy.
I knew you were nothing but a pussy.
I'd much rather be alive. I'd much rather be alive, but you want to regroup, then fucking regroup. Richardson? You think you're smart? But you're not. What? You're not smart. You of all people should know that you can't leave me. Or Jack.
Ouch. Guess he wasn't smart. He probably should have seen that coming. Although, that's really not cool for Fisher to just say that. Like, to kill a man and call him not smart. That man is the devil. The devil!
Does anybody else want to leave?
The two remaining goons suggest shooting the lights to prevent being shot at a bit more. I fail to see the point because it's such a well-lit night and it probably won't reduce visibility, but there we are. It makes about as much sense as anything else they've done so far.
The two goons do accomplish their goal of putting the lights out, although it doesn't really affect very much because literally the next scene is this.
Motherfuckers!
Wait, that's all it took? They wasted like 8 people's lives and all it took was just one guy running through the fucking door?
Mike manages to kill the final goon and then heads over to try and help Harry, who's been shot. Fortunately, he manages to dab at him with a light cloth, which seems to take care of that bullet wound. However, Fisher takes advantage of the confusion to set the house on fire.
With the cabin on fire, Lisa then randomly decides to give away her position by trying to shout the head off of the sound technician. Fisher then easily captures her and takes her out in front of the building where he apparently sees something extremely funny happening off screen.
Fisher then babbles incoherently about replacing his dead girlfriend with Lisa, but Mike tries to bargain with him.
Okay, remember that line, because it constitutes one of my biggest gripes with this film.
This is not about money anymore. This is about family. So you took my family from me.
Apart from the one you shot, of course. Anyway, with Fisher holding Lisa so loosely, Harry finally does what I've been waiting for ages and shoots Fisher, accompanied by a really witty one-liner.
Hey, different!
Lisa, come on! Come into this burning building where it's safe!
With another ear-piercing shriek, Lisa runs inside, pursued by Fisher, who is immediately crushed by a falling plank. You know, now that I come to think about it, it's kind of a lame way to kill off your main villain. The police chief then arrives and we see the building burn, and then we fade to black. What a stupid way for 3 people to die, but at least it ended the movie. Oh god, it's fading back in!
There's the last body, sir.
Yep, those 3 morons roasted for sure.
Is there anything you want us to check on before we leave?
No, everyone is
No, I
definitely
guess
dead here. Anyway, we hear the police leave and we pan to the wreckage where our heroes definitely died and... Oh god, no. They lived? Are you kidding me? Oh.
Oh yes, cough, cough. Oh. It must have been really inconvenient living in a basement under a huge fire for an entire fucking night.
Yeah, and of course they all survived and are fine. Even the guy with a bullet wound that was left untreated seems to be perfectly healthy. And to make matters worse, we're finally about to hit the stupidest part of the movie.
And what is this? It's called money. How's the Caribbean sound?
He had the money all along? He had the money all along? What? Fucking fuck!
I got raped for nothing, but we're rich, so who cares?
This changes everything and somehow makes a bland character even more unlikable and probably the biggest villain in this film. But are we going to acknowledge this? Hell no. And even after this, the film refuses to end. You think this film has gone on too long? Well, check this out.
It's our money.
Wrong. It's my money.
It's that pointless police chief. And just to undermine our original villain even more, he turns up out of the blue and announces himself to be a villain.
Who the hell is this?
Hand it over.
Chief Detective Thomas Marsh.
You forgot Ted, formerly of the LAPD.
Does that explain or add anything in any way?
After a bit of exposition as to who this random character is, he then tries to get Harry to pass over the last of the money. But then this happens.
That's very funny. Well, it was nice meeting you.
Which triggers the following frankly hilarious fight scene.
You know, I hope you're prepared for this ending. We still haven't had the resolution of Mike having had the money or what happened with Harry, and we still won't, because none of these questions and less will be answered in the following ending, although they do have a dog, so I hope you enjoy that.
Well, I knew it would take a miracle to bring Harry back, and that's just what happened. You know the old saying, old soldiers never die. They just go to the dogs. On the beach, that is. Who says revenge isn't sweet?
So that was The Revenger, and my god did it make me angry. It was absolutely atrocious. It had a main character who was completely bland, and then towards the end pulled the biggest dick move of all time, and yet the film carried on as if he was still a hero. The main villain was completely arbitrary to the plot, and even the writers thought he was such a big joke that they just completely undermined him towards the end. This film must have had about 3 endings, and they all sucked. It was absolutely appalling. It has made me so mad, I think I might actually eat some of that cereal I was going to have.
Well, I knew it would have taken Chris a miracle to survive that, and that's just what happened. You know the old saying, film critics never die. They just go to the cheap booze.
What am I doing here?
In the park, that is.
Well, how is this
Who says revenge isn't sweet?
What? Why didn't I get a warm ending like that other guy?
My sweet revenge will be yours for the taking. It's in the making, baby. My sweet revenge will be yours for the taking. It's in the making, baby.
9 out of 10 people prefer Blandios.
What, endorse this?
Superior product. Why, I most certainly will. Look how sturdy it is.